Hey, this is Allison from Mahalo Math. Welcome to our SAT Prep series. We're going to be working some problems, and working with me today is Chrissy and Trevor. So let's get started. Let's take a look at problem number 20. What do you think? There's a diagram there, and it says, in the figure above, 5 lines intersect as shown. If lines L, M, and N are parallel, what is the value of x plus y? Any ideas? No. No. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about some of the theory that you can use for this one. So let's say if we have 2 parallel lines, so I'll just call them L and M, and L is parallel to M. Now, I have to tell you that what I'm about to explain only matters if the lines are parallel. If they're not parallel, then it doesn't make any difference. If you have a line intersecting 2 parallel lines, and in math that's called a transversal. Transversal is fancy math word for line intersecting 2 other lines. Okay, if I have a transversal that intersects these 2 parallel lines, there are certain angles that are going to be equal to each other. And some of them are called corresponding angles. And what that means is that they sit in the same relative position to each parallel line. So this angle corresponds to that angle. And those 2 angles, corresponding angles, will have the same measure. And this angle will correspond to that angle, and they'll have the same measure. So will this angle and this angle, and so will this angle and this angle. So you'll have these sets of corresponding angles, and you know that they're equivalent to each other. Okay, so let's go back to the problem and have a look here. So, you know, we've got 3 parallel lines instead of 2, and we've got 2 transversals instead of 1. But don't let that throw you off. Just look at one transversal at a time. Can you tell? We know that if we have this transversal here that makes the 60-degree angle, do you see any angle that might be corresponding to that?
Is it the one on the kind of opposite it?
Opposite of the 60, or what?
Yeah, kind of how it opens like this, and there's the 60 there.
Right.
Immediately on the other side, is that angle 60 as well?
The one that's actually across the vertex, this vertex here, that one is 60. That's true. So we're trying to find x and y, right? So if we look, let's look at the same side of the transversal that makes the 60-degree angle. So that's making, at the top, we've got a 60-degree angle with line L, right? So go down to line M. The angle that is being made with that same transversal and line M is also 60 degrees because it's corresponding. And we can do the same thing. Go down one more. The angle that transversal makes with line N, that's also 60 degrees, right? Okay, so if I know that angle at the bottom there, next to the y, is 60 degrees, what is the y?
It is 180 minus that 60
Yes,
degrees.
because those 2 things lie on a straight line, so that means they cover together 180 degrees. So we know then that y has to equal 180 minus 60, yeah? Okay, now let's do the same thing for x. So we've got that 50-degree angle, yeah, that's made with that transversal in line M. So now go down to the angle right below it that's made with the same transversal and line N. That angle is going to be what?
50 as well.
Yeah, so that one's going to be 50 degrees. So then what do we know about x?
X is 180 minus 50.
And what are we trying to find out? Let's not forget what the problem asked.
What the value of x plus y?
X plus y. So we need to find out what. So y is then equal to what? 180 minus 60 is 120. X is equal to 180 minus 50, which is what?
130.
And so then what will x plus y be?
250.
Yeah, we just add them together.
Plus 130x.
So it's E. So it looks really confusing, but all you really need to know is that corresponding angles are the same. When you're talking about 2 or more parallel lines cut by a transversal, the corresponding angles will all be equal. And as long as you know a couple of them, you can find out the rest. Make sense? All right.
Thanks.
Thanks for learning with us today. If you'd like any more information on these topics, click on the links below. And if you have a specific request, please send it to requests@mahalodotcom. We'll see you later.